Hola clase. Otra vez tenemos otra verbo. This time we have another verb and it is haber. It's a helping verb. Haber. It means to have. Pronounced haber. Haber, to have. Here are some examples. I have eaten. You have touched. Yeah, they're all in English. We have played. They have jumped. They're all in English. We have prayed. Haber is always helping the other verbs, just like we do in English. You must conjugate the haber only and not the other verb. The other verb will always remain the same, no matter who is using the verb. The other verb always remains the same no matter which person is using the verb. Who or which person doesn't matter. You got to conjugate haber to match. So we're going to conjugate haber for these persons here. Yo, it can use the verb, so it gets conjugated. Tú, it can use the verb, it gets conjugated. Usted gets conjugated. For haber gets conjugated for usted. Let me say it that way. Haber gets conjugated for él, because él is going to be using haber. Ella gets conjugated. Haber gets conjugated for ella. Mickey is going to use a verb, so haber is going to be conjugated so Mickey can use it. Who is Mickey? Mickey is going to be Señor Bailey, el presidente, tu mamá, or whatever person needs to use the verb. Nosotros is going to be conjugated, so nosotros and nosotras will conjugate it for their use. Ellos conjugates haber for its use. Ellas también, they conjugate it for haber conjugates so that ellas can use the verb. And ustedes use the verb, so it gets conjugated for ustedes, not for the rest of the verbs. Okay. Haber, it's a helping verb. It gets conjugated, so the persons can use it in a sentence. Haber also renames the other verb. So it does two things. Haber is going to get conjugated, so those persons we just talked about, tú, yo, usted, él, ella, all of these persons can use it. That's why it gets conjugated. So haber gets conjugated so the persons can use it in a sentence. And it's also going to rename the verb. Haber replaces the last two letters of the verb. So the rule is going to be like this. For haber, to rename the AR verb, the ending becomes ado, ADO, because it's an AR verb, becomes ADO. To rename the ER verb, haber is going to take the ER and make it into the IDO. We call it IDO. So the ER verb changes to IDO, the AR verb changes to the ADO, ADO. And haber is going to also conjugate for the 11 persons that we saw. Tú, yo, usted, él, ella, even Dumbo. Haber is going to rename the IR verb also. And the ending becomes IDO, replacing the IR. It's going to be IDO. I guess the I remains here, but the E becomes an IDO. But the I remains here. Okay, and the A does too also, it remains, and we just add the DO at the end. But for some reason, we like to say ADO and IDO. Okay, so the AR verb ending becomes ADO. Example, hablar becomes take off the AR and put on the ADO. And what does it become? It becomes ta-da, hablado. See? So now Haber has changed hablar into hablado. Haber has changed tocar into, put the ADO, tocado. The ER verb ending becomes idio or ido. So in this example, comer becomes co instead of mer, co with the idio, comido. Tener is the same. Take off the ER and it becomes what? Put the IDO, it becomes tenido. The IR verb endings becomes IDO, just like the ER verb endings. They remain the same. So, abrir becomes abrido. Take off the IR, put on the IDO. Sentir becomes sentido. Good job. Okay. So review. Always change the other verb to ADO or IDO. Those are your only two choices when you're using haber. So it's going to be yo e. So the haber for yo becomes e. And the hablar becomes ADO, just like we said. It means I have talked and I have spoken. Tú changes the haber to has. Tú has caminado. You've walked. Usted becomes a. So the yo is a, tú is as, usted is a. And the ending becomes IDO or ADO. You have eaten. El ha jugado. So usted and él are the same. He has played. Ella ha abrido. So usted ha, él ha, ella ha. These three conjugate in the formal tense. And they always add the IDO. Mickey ha escondido. Mickey is not in my verb books in your Bailey. Why you got Mickey up there? Because sometimes Mickey's going to be talking and you're going to want to say what Mickey has done. Mickey has escondido. See? Mickey has hidden. You're going to want to talk about Mickey, el presidente. They're going to all conjugate the same as usted, él, and ella in the formal. Nosotros, going to be hemos, brincado. Nosotras, hemos, again. Abrir, haber becomes hemos, conjugates to hemos for nosotros and nosotras. We have jumped. Ellos han salido. They have left. Ellas han bebido. They have left. So these two are plural. So we need an N at the end of the verb to make them plural. Ustedes, also plural. Han gritado. You all have yelled. So now let's translate haber using the other plus the other verb. She has worked today. So how we're going to do it? We look up here and we find she. Where is she? There is she. Right here. Ella ha abrido. So she has worked today. You're going to use and you got to know what is worked. Trabajar. Oh yeah, that's right. Trabajar is work. So now we got to change trabajar to put in ADO at the end because it's an AR verb. Muy bien, not the IDO, it's an ADO because trabajar is an AR verb. Number 13. Oh, you thought I was going to give you the answer. No, I'm going to let you think about it. You try to do it before I do it using these rules. You can do it. Okay, look at number 13. Number 13 is asking us, the verb is read. That's what we're looking at. This is always haber conjugate for I. Read is your verb. Leer. Okay, very good. Leer is your verb. So now leer is an ER verb. Is that correct? Yes. Good job. So it's going to become IDO. Okay. Número 14. Dumbo. Uh-oh, we didn't use Mickey. We used Dumbo, but Dumbo is going to conjugate just like Mickey. So Dumbo has, just like Mickey has, the verb is correr. I know you know it. So it's an ER verb. So it's going to be IDO. All right. I'm going to give you one more second to see can you figure it out. And then I'll give you the answers. Okay, number 12. She has worked today. Ella ha trabajado hoy. Muy bien. I know you got it. Okay, número 13. I have read the book. Yo, what is it going to be? Yes, yo he. Yo he leído el libro. Muy bien. Good job, clase. Dumbo has run. That's Mickey again. So what's the word? Correr. So, Dumbo ha corrido a la casa. Muy bien. So the persons inside the verb are the following. Inside of haber, conjugated, yo he. A is inside of, no, yo is inside of a. Tu has. Tu always has an S with its verbs when it's conjugated. Tu has is inside this one. Usted ha, formal. Usted is inside a. Él is inside a. Él ha. Ella ha. Mickey ha. Not ha. Not ha. It's ha. I know you know it. But sometimes I like to just be redundant and say things over. Okay, here we go with nosotros hemos, nosotras hemos, ellos han, ellas han, ustedes han. The N means plural. Them girls, all of y'all are plural. So we put an N at the end of your verb. See? When it's plural, it has an N. When it's us, it has an MOS. When it's we, it has an MOS. When it's formal, just take off the R. Just take off the R. It's formal. If it's tu, always the S. Yo, there's, I don't know of a good way to put that one, but anyway, those are the rules for the others. Plural, the N. Okay, here we go. Translate the following using haber plus the other verb. There's no other verb up here, but haber is translated. Translated, not translated. Translated. Yo he, tu has, usted ha. Él ha, ella ha, Mickey ha. Nosotros hemos, nosotras hemos, ellos han, plural. Ellas han, plural. Ustedes han, plural. Okay, let's translate. They have closed the door. They must be plural, huh? Yeah. We have closed the door. That's us, we. You have lied. Not really. It's just a class A. So we're not talking about you. We're just learning. So since it's they, that's plural. We got to have an N. Ellas han cerrado la puerta. So we put the ellas. It could have been ellos because it is they. We have danced, number 16. That would be either 7 or 8, correct? Yes, nosotros hemos, and we're talking about dancing. Bailar becomes bailado. Okay, 17. Lied. What is that? Mentir. So it's talking about you. So that could be you, usted, or you, tú. It could be you formal or you familiar. So what did you put? tú has mentido. Well, somebody probably put usted ha mentido. Muy bien, clase. Very good. So that ends the lesson. I want you to please practice with your classmates and your telephone assistants. Who are they? That's Janet. She's funny. Miss Amelia. She's very patient and kind and nice. James Bailey is silly like his dad and Janet. And they all know perfect Spanish. So they will practice with you. If you need their cell number, or call me or email me and I will give it to you. But you need to practice, class. You gotta practice. That's more important than coming to class, because you just forget stuff when you learn it. And then if you don't practice it, it's gone. What do you practice? The same thing we do in class. Here's an example. Read any lesson to them and allow them to comment on what you're learning. Any lesson. This one is a good one. They will give you something extra not found in this lesson. I promise you, you're going to love whatever they do. You're going to like it. So please call me for more info or send an email to me. I got a new email address. You can still use the old one because I'm always going to check it. So I'd rather you did use the old one because the new people will be using this one. And then I won't have the beginners mixing in too much with the advanced and the intermediates. Okay, bye for now. See you in class. Tenga buen día. Disfruten mucho. Juega con los niños. Besa a los queridos en tu casa. Okay, bye-bye.